Are you having trouble with SATs? Are you having trouble with visualizing or trying to use your imagination right before bed when you're in that groggy state before sleep? If you are wanting to get some tips and some tricks as to how to help you with the state akin to sleep and using your imagination in this crucial time to help you manifest, be sure to stay tuned throughout this video because we are going to take a deep dive today into the state akin to sleep. What is up, you guys? I am Missy Renee, and on this channel we talk about manifesting. We talk about everything that has to do with manifesting. We talk about how to do it, how to properly apply it so that you no longer have any troubles going forward when it comes to implementing your best life. And in this video, we're going to talk about the state akin to sleep, or SATs, as they're sometimes referred to. And though some may argue, I truly believe that imagining in the state akin to sleep is so paramount when it comes to successfully impressing your subconscious mind in order to get whatever it is that you want. And I've had a lot of people come to me asking to make this video. I've had this requested a couple of times now. A lot of people have questions about this technique. A lot of people have issues. A lot of people have stumbling blocks, and I get it. This is one of those that is not going to come naturally and overnight to most of you. It does take some practice. It does take some work. So in this video, I'm going to go over not only how to implement it in a very clear step-by-step manner, but I'm also going to give you some other helpful tips and some personal recommendations that I've used and that others have used with great success. So diving right into it, what the hell is the state akin to sleep? If you are new to this channel, if you have not heard of Neville Goddard, this might be the first time you're even hearing this term. Okay, what on earth does that mean? The state akin to sleep is basically a deeply relaxed or hypnotic state. It is that twilight period that happens naturally twice a day, right before you go to bed and right after you wake up in the morning, where you are not unconscious, but you're not quite awake yet. You're not quite fully awake and aware yet either. Basically, it's when you're half asleep, in the simplest way to explain it. And Neville put so much emphasis on SATs and on the state akin to sleep. And a lot of people might think that there's a lot of overhype. A lot of people might think that it's not necessary per se in order to manifest. But if you are new to the teachings of Neville, or if you're new to manifesting in general, I would strongly, strongly recommend that you start with this technique first and try to stick with it and implement it to the best of your ability, because 99% of the things that I've manifested successfully has been with the help of SATs. So why are they so important then? Well, when you're in the state akin to sleep, your conscious mind has wound down and you don't have that resistance or that guard shield up like you do during the day. When you are in that state akin to sleep, your subconscious is the most impressible. It is easier to access, easier to get to without the use of force or willpower. And for those of you who watch this channel, or for those of you who are aware of what Neville teaches, you'll know that this is super important because our 3D reality and everything in it is subconscious impressions. It's the result of whatever is impressed onto the subconscious mind that will ultimately come to fruition and you will experience in your 3D world. So whatever gets past the conscious mind and into the subconscious mind is going to show up in our external reality. So the ultimate goal with deliberate manifesting is to get as many things as you desire into the subconscious and keep as much crap that you don't want out of the subconscious. So it is in this groggy twilight stage, this state akin to sleep, that you want to use your imagination to impress the subconscious mind. So I've talked about this a lot on my videos prior. I've talked about the importance of impressing the subconscious mind, but specifically today, I want to go more into detail, step by step, getting yourself into the state akin to sleep, the exact methods that I use, and also the importance of using this. There is a lot of importance behind this. There is a reason that Neville stressed the state akin to sleep so hard. So we're going to talk about all of that today, and hopefully by the end of this video, you have a crystal clear and concise way that you can try at home so that you can have the best chances at success. Because one of the biggest reasons that people fail when it comes to manifesting their desires is that they are trying too hard. You don't want to try to manifest. It should not feel forced. It should not feel like work. It shouldn't feel unnatural. None of that. When you try to assume that feeling of the wish fulfilled, it should come with minimal effort. And I cannot stress this enough, you guys. You do not want to try to force your manifestations. You will find you're going to be beating a dead horse here. Don't do it. And Neville stressed this too. In fact, I'm going to read a quote from Neville to give you guys an example of what I mean by this and what he means by this. If there is one reason in the whole vast world why people fail to manifest, it is because they are unaware of a law that most psychologists today know as the law of reversed effort. You must control the direction of your movements. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it is with a minimum effort. You must control the direction of the movement of your attention, but you must do it with the least effort. If there is effort in the control and you are compelling it in a certain way, you are not going to get the results. You will get the opposite results, whatever they might be. And the law of reversed effect is a must-know for everybody who is trying to manifest. It doesn't matter which teacher you follow. It doesn't matter who you're studying from. It really doesn't matter. But the law of reversed effect is crucial to know about. It is one of the biggest hurdles and stumbling blocks. I struggled for years before I even knew what the hell it was. But the law of reversed effects basically states that the greater the conscious effort, the less the subconscious response. Or stated another way, whenever willpower and imagination are at odds, imagination always wins. So for example, have you ever had a situation where you were getting ready to speak in public, or you were getting ready to do anything that made you anxious, and you tried to tell yourself to calm down and to stop being anxious, and by doing so, you just got more anxious? That is an example of the law of reversed effect. Basically, the harder you try to do something, you're going to be met with even more resistance. Now, I know you might be thinking, what the hell does this have to do with SATs? But bear with me because, again, I cannot stress enough how important this is. It is crucial to understand that our subconscious mind is infinitely more powerful than our conscious mind. Your subconscious remembers and learns from different behaviors and forms sets of rules, so to speak. And it does this by picking up on responses and emotional cues that you've picked up over the years. Most of them formed in childhood. And these behaviors and these rules are formed from emotional responses. These rules and behaviors then go on to be habits, things that we do naturally. All of our experiences that evoked emotional reactions are stored in our subconscious and basically form into habit. The issue becomes when we try to consciously change a habit or a subconscious behavior, we're gonna be met with a lot of resistance. If you grew up in a home where money was scarce and your family was poor, and you had that reinforcement over and over again that money is hard to come by, then that will also be stored in your subconscious, and you will then be acting out of that habit over that belief. So when you try to consciously change an automated habit, it will resist it. And the more pressure you try to apply consciously, the more resistance you're going to get met with. This is the law of reversed effect. So all of these highly emotional responses that we've had through life, especially in childhood, have formed into a subconscious habit. And it is almost like a rule, like a do not cross this line. And that is why when we are just trying to consciously change our behaviors and our habits, we are met with a hell of a hard time. So if we cannot get to the subconscious through our conscious effort, then how do we change these beliefs and these behaviors? Well, that's where SATS comes in. So before you start using SATS, before you start imagining in the state akin to sleep, it's important to be concise with what your aim is. You want to define that aim, what it is that you want, and you want to be as clear and concise as possible. For me, I always write it down. I strongly encourage my clients to write out a list of whatever it is that they desire, get it on paper, and really hone in and be as specific as possible. From there, you can start constructing that mental scene that implies that you have your desire, or that whatever it is that you want is already yours. If you have not done this yet, I would also recommend writing your scene down first. And you want to do this before going to sleep. You don't want to do it on the spot. This will help keep you focused, and this will keep your mind from wandering all over the place, as our minds like to do before bed. So write out what it is that you want, define your aim, and then write a scene, outline a scene that implies that you have whatever it is that you desire, or whatever it is that you want. Now for me, I always go to bed about 30 minutes to an hour before I usually start getting really tired. Before, I would always just lay in bed and stay up all night on my phone until I fell asleep. And I don't ever do this anymore. Step one is you want to turn off all your electronics. You want to get off that phone and get yourself into bed a good 30 minutes to an hour before you normally fall asleep. And this will also help keep you from getting distracted or from reading a bunch of terrible stuff before you go to bed. Once you lie down and once you get comfortable, I always start with breathing exercises, and always use breathing exercises with your diaphragm. You always want to breathe in through your belly. This way you're getting as much oxygen as you can. This is wonderful for relieving anxiety and getting more oxygen in your bloodstream. There's a lot of benefits to diaphragm breathing as is, so I always recommend using it. Once you're in bed and once you lay down, get comfortable, close your eyes, and I always start doing the 4-count breath. If you're not familiar, it's basically where you inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and hold again for a count of 4. So inhale, 4, hold, exhale, and hold. And then you repeat. And I do a set of 6 to 8 of those 4-count breaths. At this stage, you're just trying to get your body nice and relaxed. You're not in the state akin to sleep yet. You're prepping yourself to get there. So once I've done the 4-count breath for 6 to 8 counts, I will count backwards from 50. I like to imagine the numbers counting down in my mind. Picture 50, 49, 48, 47, and get all the way down to 0. By this time, more often than not, By the time that you get to 0, you will be in the state akin to sleep. Another helpful method, if counting down is not your thing, is you can say to yourself, I am so sleepy. I am very, very sleepy. And focus on your breath and tell yourself that you're very, very sleepy. And kind of lull yourself into that state akin to sleep. And you know that you are successfully in that state when your eyelids are feeling really heavy and you are blissfully content and relaxed. You could get up if you absolutely had to, but you don't want to. Once I am in the state akin to sleep, I will bring my imaginal scene up before my mind's eye and I will begin the looping process. Side note, the first time you do this, it's going to be dark, it's going to be blurry, you're not going to be able to make out all the features of your scene. That is normal. Do not fret if it doesn't look vivid and descriptive the minute you bring it up in your mind. It's going to be dark, it's going to be hard to make out the features, and that's okay. Just keep looping your scene. As you loop it, try to bring in descriptive tones of reality. Try to feel, try to taste, try to smell, try to hear. Whatever sensory vividness that you can muster, keep bringing that in bit by bit as you animate this scene. And this is where, unfortunately, a lot of people start getting discouraged and give up. Either their mind starts wandering all over the place, or they're having trouble seeing their scene or getting it super descriptive. Guys, don't worry if it doesn't look exactly like photorealistic at first. And even if you can't quite get it to be super vivid, that's not the part that counts. What counts is the feeling. What you are trying to do is invoke the feeling of that scene as if you were really there and it was really happening to you. The visualization is just a tool. It is not what's going to manifest. It's not going to hinder your manifestation. It's not a make or break situation if you can't see it crystal clear. That said, it is really important to keep persisting, because in this stage, when you're just bringing your scene up and you're just starting to loop it, more often than not, it's going to be dark and blurry and your mind is going to wander off and you're going to have to keep wrangling it in, or you're going to have weird crap come out of the woodwork in this scene, an alien's going to come down from the sky, and that's okay. Again, you're getting yourself ready. Like, the subconscious impression hasn't happened yet. You'll know when it does, but right now you're just gearing up for it. So if the scene doesn't look perfect, if your mind wanders back a couple of times, if Godzilla comes in out of the woodwork and starts destroying your city, just bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Because it could take a couple dozen or even a couple hundred tries before you start to really get into your scene, before either it starts to take on that sensory vividness or before you start feeling the feelings that are attached to that scene. Regardless, keep at it, keep looping it, and you'll know that it's working because you will start to naturally evoke the feelings like you were there in real life. You're going to feel that joy, you're going to feel that peace, you're going to feel that satisfaction, you're going to feel that happiness, you're going to feel that love and content. It's going to feel so good. It's going to be pure bliss. That is how you know the seed has been planted. Keep looping that until you get that feeling, and if you can, fall asleep in that feeling. If you are able to successfully fall asleep in that feeling, in that scene, it's done. It's already yours. A couple really important tips and helpful suggestions for those who are just beginning this is to remember that the key is attention without effort. At no point should this feel like work. Do not try to force the emotions. Do not try to force the feelings. This should feel natural. Just relax and enjoy it. Do it because it feels good. If no other reason, just do it to enjoy the feeling that comes with it. I think one of the biggest issues I see people do with this is they have the impression that they have to get this right when it comes to their scene, and they get so caught up in all the nitty-gritty details. This is not the point. The point of the technique is to get you to feel the experience and live it as if you already have it or you already experienced it. Do not get hung up on all the micro details. Feeling is key. As long as that's invoked, you're good to go. Another common mistake that I see people make with this is people will go into SATs trying to get something for the future, or they will be imagining something happening for them later down the line. This is not the right mindset. You want to go into your imagination as if what you're imagining is happening right now. You want to go in with the viewpoint that what you are imagining is reality. You don't want to go in with the viewpoint that it's going to happen. And this can be subtle if you're not careful. Whenever you're imagining, in that space and time is happening to you right now. Not that it's going to happen. Not that by doing this, it's going to facilitate something happening. No, your imaginal act is real and it is happening to you right now. It is not a means to an end or a box that you can check off. You need to go into the scene knowing that what you're imagining is just as real life, because it is just as real life. The last tip that I'm going to give is to make sure that you guys practice and practice and practice as much as you can. Another misconception about SATs is that you can only do it at night, or that the best results are at night. And while that is slightly true, your best results are going to be if you take that into sleep. You can absolutely get yourself into the state akin to sleep during the day. You can do this through meditation. You can do this when you're taking a nap in the afternoon. Practice often. Practice as much as you can. Get yourself 30 minutes a day. Twice a day is ideal, but even if it's just one time, even if it's 15 minutes, any time is better than nothing. But set aside this time to practice building up that imaginal facility. Practice visualizing, practice looping your scene, practice adding all of the tones of reality and the sensory vividness. Practice, practice, practice. This is something that will get easier as you do it more. Same as when you're learning anything new for the first time, it's going to take some getting used to. And for me personally, this has only helped expedite my manifestations, so it's really a win-win here. But the bottom line in all of this is just to make sure that this feels natural to you. Naturalness is key. There should not be any willpower, there shouldn't be any force, there shouldn't be any coercion, this shouldn't feel strenuous. It should be fun, it should feel good, but above all, it should be natural. And as always, keep persisting, guys, because you got this. So anyways, guys, that is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're curious as to why I'm wearing a different shirt, it's because I had to come back and film this outro because my camera's memory filled up. Fun times. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. This helps trigger the YouTube algorithm and helps make it so more people can see this content. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe. Hit that bell icon so that way you are notified whenever I put out new videos. And if you're interested in checking out any of my other resources, I will link my blog, coaching website, and my social links down in the description box below. So don't forget to check those out. Also be sure to check out these videos over here. They all go into different topics, but it is all in relation to how to manifest your best life. And I want to make sure that you guys have as much information as possible. So until next time, take care, be well, and never forget how powerful you really are. Happy manifesting.